Hi, everybody. This is Mary Jordan from the Center for Teaching and Learning and the library, and we are here for another look at an important Quality Matters teaching topic. We once again have our guest speaker, Susan Engle, and she's going to talk about the alignment standards with us. I'm very new to this and I'm excited. So, Susan, take it away. Tell us about alignment standards.
Thank you, Mary. I'm Susan Engel, faculty here at St. Cloud Technical and Community College, and this time we are talking about Quality Matters alignment standards. This will come after an introduction of sorts to the Quality Matters, and you'll have a workbook and some of those pieces, so you'll be able to follow along. Oops, and my keyboard is sticking, so there we go. This particular session will take a look at the alignment standards within Quality Matters. There are 6 of them, and we'll apply specifically Quality Matters Standards 2.1 and 2.2. These are on course outcomes and module outcomes. And then we'll begin our work with 3.1 and 5.1, which are further alignment standards on assessments and the curriculum itself, the learning activities and learner interaction. Okay, now my button is working.
Hooray!
Yay. And you all will just recognize the logo. Quality Matters is something that SETCC is promoting. And we've got additional ways for training, professional development, and so on that we'll talk about in a little bit later in this session. You also have either a copy of the one page that talks just very briefly about each of the specific review standards for Quality Matters, or you have a copy of the rubric workbook. And I know Mary is hosting some of those copies in the library as well. If you don't have one, pick one up in the library, pick one up with your dean, pick one up in the Vice President of Academic Affairs. They are around campus. So get what you need, and certainly get that either before this session or sometime after reviewing this session. I'll also just put in a little plug here. I know, Mary, you love templates as well. For the optional syllabus template, the syllabus template does offer content that will take you through at least 20 of the 44 Quality Matters standards. So this becomes an important tool for us as faculty to use as we design our classes.
And I'm just going to put in a plug for always use templates. You are not being oppressed by using structure. It makes your job so much easier. I've taught for a long time. I love to use templates.
Yes, and a lot of thought and time has been put into the online syllabus template to make sure that we have in there some of the Quality Matters standards, some of the universal pieces, accessibility. The document is also checked for accessibility. So using that will help out just tremendously with course design and course preparation.
Save yourself the time and the effort.
Yes, save yourself the time and the effort. So Quality Matters is all about course design. It's a collaborative and a collegial process. We are working together as faculty to just have this design that seems to work for students. It takes a look at all of what is on the screen through the categories of everything from the module that, or the mode that we use for delivery, all the way through our instructional materials and what we use for assignments or assessments. Today, we'll talk a little bit more directly about standards 2.1 and 2.2, which I had mentioned in another presentation. These are the most important standards for Quality Matters. And for any of you who are considering moving a course on for official Quality Matters review, they want for us to have 2.1 and 2.2 set in our class before we begin working with the other standards. So again, the online syllabus template will have helped you with 20 of the 44 of these, but let's look very specifically today at Quality Matters Standards 2.1 and 2.2. We are fortunate as an institution that we have a lot of support for the course level learning objectives. We review these continually, and they go through AASC, and so we know that we have strong objectives for the course that meets 2.1, standard 2.1 in Quality Matters. What we don't work as directly or as intentionally on are the module or learning level objectives. This might be a weekly unit for you. It might be a unit. It might be a module. However you categorize or organize your class, it's important to have module level learning objectives that are measurable and that they align with the course level objectives. So today, that is what we'll talk about. The Quality Matters rubric workbook that Mary showed, and I've got here as well, and it's on my fuzzy screen, will give you samples. So I've taken this sample from the rubric workbook. It shows the course level objective for a history class, and then it parcels out some unit level objectives. This meets 2.2. And you see that with the unit level objectives, just like the course level objectives, are using active Bloom's taxonomy level verbs. These are measurable, they are specific, and they are measurable. So we will pay attention to that as we develop our own unit level objectives.
I think this is a part where people kind of struggle, is especially when you're first trying to set up those active Bloom's taxonomy verbs. But man, just get one and just Google for a Bloom's chart. There are a million of them, and let them help you with those action words because you really need to think about what you're teaching. You really need to
Yes,
know it's not just my student sat there, but what
yes,
are they
yes.
really doing? Yeah, it's
Yes,
so good.
it is so good. And this alignment will help us to understand that, yes, if we're parceling it out into modules or units or weeks, that we are meeting the course level objectives. So this piece may be new to some of us at the institution. The unit level objectives do not go through AASC. It is just something that we will work on within our own individual course as we deliver content. So I had written down here, giving you a sample from my critical thinking class. My course level objective is to analyze the elements of thought in decision making. So it's a large course outcome. And then I parcel that down to define each of the elements of thought and then apply each of the elements of thought in a decision that you made as a student. So I want you to think about this. It may take some time to come up with the unit level objectives for each of your units, especially if you have weekly units, that may be 16 unit level objectives. Take your time with this. Get out your copy of Bloom's taxonomy or access a website that has some of these measurable verbs for you and begin to just see how your curriculum is fitting directly with the course level objectives. You probably have done a little bit of this already with your assessment work because we are taking an assignment then and matching it back to a course level objective, but there are steps in between that we may be just assuming are there. Quality Matters makes it more direct.
Well, and I find for me, especially in a new class or something that I'm not feeling as confident in yet, to being able to go through this and really think exactly what I'm going to do and exactly what's going to happen, it helps me save time later in the semester. Because I've seen faculty who really did not have good plans, and like halfway through the semester, you're flailing, and now what do I do? And things are out of control. This Quality Matters is really helping think through it all and make your plans before you get lost.
Yes, exactly. It really does help with organizing your course design. So these foundational structures, once they are in place, make it that much easier for us to move forward with assignments. Make sure that our learning materials and everything align as well. So you can take just a step back and take a look at 2.1 and 2.2, but I will also encourage you to look ahead at course alignment with course outcomes, module outcomes, which we just talked about, and then also make sure that learning activities and the assessments are aligned with that. So I've reversed this on the grid because I think about the information that I give out to students and the participation that students have in the learning activities as coming before the assessments. But standard wise, as they're listed in our rubric workbook, the assessments come before the learning activities. You can organize this however is best for your style. It just was easiest for me to think about a big picture and then taking it down in steps and ending with the assessments.
I agree. That does seem like a good strategy.
So I think in looking at that, let me just take a look here. Okay, so for Standard 5, some of the learning activities. Just going to take a look in my rubric workbook for a minute and just give you some of the list of what they say. You have a copy of your rubric workbook as well. This is on page 40. Examples of activities are class discussions, role playing, virtual field trips, simulation exercises, scenario based activities, scavenger hunts, watching videos with maybe some embedded check-in questions because learner interaction is also a part of that. And we know a lot about learner action after having gone through the RSI information as well. Creating outlines, concept maps, graphic organizers, lab skills exercises, completing guided lessons, practice quizzes, self-checks, and the list goes on and on. That gives some examples of what the learning activities might be.
I love this, and I love this part. And for sure, if you're struggling, you should come talk to me as well as talking to your dean and your colleagues because lecturing is boring. It's boring for you, it's boring for your students. No one wants to sit there and just listen. Instead, yeah, let's do some cool things.
And
I
have some
ca-
interaction. Go ahead, Mary.
Oh no, I was just going to say I had such better luck when I was teaching, and I started switching to doing other things and kind of letting go of what I thought it was right to just lecture. And yeah, when I let go of that idea, I think my classes got better.
Yes. And if for those of us who are teaching asynchronous, you might find that you need some mini lectures in the form of videos. Kaltura and other video creation tools allow for us to have assessments or interactions within that. So consider using those as well so that they're not, as Mary said, boring. We don't want to just lecture, we want to have that interaction. So with that said, we'll also take a look at those assessments and assignments. And in a previous video, I had mentioned too, in reviewing all of my assessments, I my graded work in my classes, looking at this type of alignment helped me to see which assessments or assignments really aligned with the outcomes and which assessments or assignments did not. Sometimes I had some what I thought were fun assignments, and it had a lot of great student interaction. But when I completed the grid, I found that it really didn't align with the course outcomes. We want to make sure that we have what is purposeful and meaningful in our classes and with intentional course design, especially by using some of the Quality Matters grid and alignment standards, we are able to see what aligns, what works, what goes back to those course outcomes. As a reminder, before we let you move into your own grids and starting to take a look at your own classes, you can create a Quality Matters account. This gives you additional access to the annotations found in the rubric workbook, and it also allows for you, if you would like, to do your own self-review in one or more of your classes. So you can create an account, or if you've signed into an account, here are the instructions for that. Once you are in, you can start a self review. List your course. I can put in critical thinking or the introductory writing courses, and then start going through standard by standard to be sure that I've got those course outcomes, which for us again are approved by AASC. I've got the module outcomes. I have learning materials, instructional materials that align with that, learning activities that align with that, and assessments and assignments that also align with that.
But
I
I'm sorry,
think,
I'm just going to say, before
yeah,
you start in, all of this sounds like it's going to take a bunch of time, and it may. But front loading a bunch of this thinking, this planning, this organizing, it's going to make the rest of your semester so much easier. And you know, if you've done any teaching, that last 3 weeks of the semester, it's so hard. It's so you're so
yes,
busy, you're so overwhelmed. You don't want to have to be thinking about what to do next. You want to have it all put together. And really, and I mean, correct me if I'm wrong here, Susan, but I could do this one time for a class, and then I could just go in and just tweak it after that. All the work is really just once, right?
Yes, and I will reiterate, course putting a lot of planning into the course up front, putting thought into your course design will free you up for responding to students, interacting with students throughout the semester. So this really is a best practice. And I think we had mentioned other times too that again, it is time consuming. If you have your tools structured, including maybe setting up a developmental shelf for one of your classes, if you see that there are fine tuning and changes that need to be done for the next semester, you can make those changes in your development shelf through D2L without making changes in an active course so that you really are, with your changes, ready to go through your course design that has even been improved in an active semester that you are teaching.
Oh, that's such a good idea because I mean, we've all had assignments that we give that just flop or an activity that everyone hates you. So let's do a different thing next semester. That's such a good idea. I could just keep it right there in the shelf.
Yes, yes. So here's where we will mention that SETCC is committed to having all of us familiar with Quality Matters standards. There are professional development opportunities that are available. If once you have watched some of the videos, taken a look at your rubric workbook, started working with your courses, if you want the professional development through Quality Matters, SETCC is for some time committed to offering some workshop opportunities to you all. So ask your dean about these. Probably the best workshop currently is the Applying the Quality Matters rubric workshop. If you have not taken that and you are interested in that, our college has funds for you. And in fact, they're currently working through some funding through the online segment of the college so that you won't have to do so much in the paperwork of applying for regular professional development funds. So please ask your dean about this, ask the director of CTL, make sure that you are getting what you need. If you have already completed the Applying the Quality Matters workshop through Quality Matters and you want to do something more, they have courses currently on Improve Your Online Course. And so you could look at what else is available and then continue on with your professional development through Quality Matters with funding through SCTCC. I will also mention that the college is trying to move forward in doing some peer review of courses. If you are interested in becoming a peer reviewer, there are also some funding available through the college for going through the peer reviewer training through Quality Matters. I think they used to have us take the Applying the Quality Matters workshop first and then go into the peer reviewer, but please consider that as well. There's an interested and interesting group of faculty that is moving forward and working with this again. We had done this a few years ago and we are working with the peer review on campus as well. So I'm hopeful that if you're curious and interested in Quality Matters and you've begun to take a little look at this, that you might move forward with professional development opportunities directly through Quality Matters as well.
We do have a variety of other teaching opportunities. You can sign up for classes through the state, through the program called NED, and you get emails about that. There are a bunch of opportunities, but I mean, for sure. I mean, the Quality Matters program, it's right here. It's so organized. It's so nice for you.
Yes, and Ned does have some opportunities as well. So I'm glad that you mentioned that, Mary. We have all of our campuses work through either the online learning consortium or through Quality Matters. And so there are many courses, workshops, webinars that will work directly with these as well. So look at those net opportunities as mentioned, as Mary had mentioned. So here's this end, just asking, are there any questions or comments or what do people need? Mary, is there anything that you have thought of?
Well, I feel like a lot of this is just the idea that I would take the time and think about it and go through everything. It's so helpful. When I first started teaching, and I've talked about this a lot, I was an adjunct and I had no teacher training at all. I really didn't know what I was doing. I thought you just stood up in front of a class and it just happened. Ah,
The
yes.
magic happens.
I was so wrong. The magic did not happen. I was not good. But once you get some training, and I don't know. And I mean, I'm a person who likes to know what I'm doing and I like to be good at things right away. And it can be a little embarrassing to say, I don't know, I wasn't very good and I need to get training. But we all need training. It literally does not matter. I have been teaching now for more than 15 years, and I tell you, I try to take some instructor training regularly because there's always something you don't know. There's always something that could be new and interesting and cool. So I'm just going to
Yeah.
throw out the comment that for sure, I mean, once you get everything kind of going through Quality Matters, what else can you do? And just keep thinking about trying to make your own skills even better.
Yes, and Quality Matters can help with the foundation of quality course design. And from there, it is a continual process, and Quality Matters will say that as well. We are not going to design something absolutely perfect and unchanging. So it's a continual process. We will continue to improve our class as we go. It's also a collegial process. So let's work together as faculty on building the quality in our online classes.
Definitely. And really, this is teamwork. I think teaching can feel like being a solo artist a lot because you are the solo in your classroom, but yeah, it should be clear from, I mean, this discussion and the other videos that Susan has made that, I mean, it's teamwork and you have your colleagues and you have your dean and you have the people at Quality Matters and you have the people from across the campus and we have a lot of resources here. We want to make sure that we all feel strong and confident because we're here to teach. We're here to make sure that everybody does well.
Yes. So good. Well, thank you everyone for joining us.
Please enjoy the owl. I mean, what could be better today? Thank you, Susan, for presenting this series for us. We will have other videos through Quality Matters or about Quality Matters and about other teaching topics. So if you are not yet subscribed to the CTL's YouTube page, like and subscribe today. Smash that like button. Is that what the kids say? See, I need to learn. I need to get better because we want to make sure we're providing some information for you. All right. Thank you so
Yes.
much, Susan, for doing this. Thanks,
Thank you,
everybody, for
Mary, and thanks
attending.
everyone.
We'll see you
Yeah.
next time. Bye bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.